This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 76 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network. Equine Charities and Stable Women. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible. Equestrian Collections brings the whole universe of equestrian shopping to your fingertips. Visit them at equestriancollections.com. And Equestrian Professional. You can visit them at equestrianprofessional.com.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, 'cause it's time again for the Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. The Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
This is Glenn the Geek.
And this is Helena B. And you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
Oh, you sound so much better, Helena.
It's because I have a fancy new microphone.
Yeah, new microphone. You're all set up there. You sound all deep and rich and...
Deep, yes. Rich, I don't know.
You don't sound all hollow and tinny anymore.
Oh, okay. That's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, I think your husband will like that. I'll have to call him and say, she's not hollow and tinny anymore.
He may disagree with you.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back, yep. This is the highlight of our week, huh?
I know. We haven't been together for a while.
I know.
Well, we kept, I was ill last week, and thank you to Samantha for filling in at the last minute. I think she loves doing this show, actually.
Oh, especially when we get to interview people like Lynn Palm.
I know. And then we got a nice email from Lynn's assistant this week saying Lynn loved doing the show and would love to do it again.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
So hopefully when we have her back, I thought we should get like Lynn and Craig Cameron and maybe Monty on all at the same time and have a little round table.
Oh,
wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, it would.
I think so too. I think that would be great. I think they'd all come back on. So, I just wanted to say thank you again to Samantha for filling in. She's been a godsend here recently, filling in when we needed her for both of us. So
the floating co-host.
Then we're always calling her at like last minute saying, "Can you do the show in 2 minutes?"
I know. That's so nice when you can count on somebody. They're just dependable people are so few and far between. So thanks, Samantha.
And I listened to the show last week. It was very good. Lynn, you got Lynn chatting about things I don't think she's ever talked about.
Oh, I know. She had some good stories. Well, it's that age-old problem with us, and or at least with me and our guests. They start talking about stuff, and I forget to ask questions because I'm so involved in listening to what they're saying. So it was good. I learned quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun show. And she's quite a chatter anyway. So
yeah, she's got a good personality.
Yeah, she's fun to listen to. Well, we have a variety show planned for everybody today. We have actually 3 guests on with us. First, we thought that with Helena and I talked about it, and with the Haiti, with what's going on down there, and with the immense tragedy of it all, that our minds are really focused a little bit on charity now. And we thought we'd actually talk to 2 different people who represent equine charities in the equine world. One of them is involving Haiti. So we're going to have Joni Morris on, who's with the USEF, to speak about their charity fund for Haiti. They have a fund that's around all the time, and it's called the USEF Equine Disaster Relief Fund, and right now they're focusing that on the horses of Haiti. And I didn't even know Haiti had a lot of horses. So
Me either.
I don't know if Joni knows anything about that or not, but we're going to chat a little bit about that. And then we have Mary Jo Beckman, who's of the NAHRA Horses for Heroes campaign. And if you remember right, last year at one point, we've done so many shows and talked to so many guests, I forget anymore. But we did talk about the Horses for Heroes campaign. That's the campaign where they work with wounded soldiers with horses to help in their recovery and healing. Right.
I'm like you. I can't remember exactly what we talked about, but I know we'll have to go back through our old shows. But But I know it was moving. It was very moving.
Well, we're going to have Mary Jo on, who's really heading up that campaign, and also one of the soldiers, Sergeant Michael Blair, who has benefited from it. He's a Marine, and they'll both be joining us to talk a little bit about that campaign, and we can hear how the horses have helped him in his recovery, too. So I think that's kind of neat. That's something that we haven't done before. Plus, we continue our effort to highlight some of the new cool websites that are being developed in the horse world, and we speak with Marya Zabati. We're going to have to ask her about that because
she'll help us out, I'm sure.
She told me Marya is Russian for Mary. So I figured that one out, but I keep getting her last name wrong. But she has started a website called Stable Woman Gazette, and I think you're going to love talking to this lady. She's very interesting, and she's a lot of fun. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to have her on, is I thought you would enjoy chatting with her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I enjoy chatting with everybody, but I like new and fresh ideas, and let's see what she's got up her sleeve.
She's been covering on Stable Woman Gazette a lot about the Mustang issue, which we haven't really touched on at all.
No, and that is something. I mean, that's a pretty hot topic, especially among the politicos in the horse world
Right.
these days, with the BLM and the roundups and all that stuff. And people are writing their votes that are going on right now in Congress, and I think that's actually a very timely topic.
Yeah, so we'll chat with her a little bit about that because it seems like she's picked up on that quite a bit. And I don't, there's been no particular reason we haven't covered that. It's just that we had other shows planned, and it just never happened. So.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Give us time.
It's hard to cover everything with the entire horse world, but we try and do it here on Stable Scoop. Well, we're going to have coming up as our first guest here, Joni Morris of the United States Equestrian Federation. She is the marketing person over there, and Joni's been on the show with us, if you remember, several times. And
Yes.
She's helped us understand things about eventing and different things along the way. And today she's joining us to talk about the USEF Equine Disaster Relief Fund. As I mentioned in a show a couple weeks ago, I believe, I'm also a volunteer for the Red Cross, and we get emails as volunteers that the general public does not see from the Red Cross, and the enormity of this disaster is just unbelievable. I never thought about it from the equine point of view because I really never thought about horses in Haiti. But the enormity of it is just unbelievable, and the figures and the pictures that we get and that we see, it blows your mind.
Boy, I don't know that I can handle it. I mean, after I don't know, we've had our fair share of disasters, and I've sort of looked the other way, I think, a little bit with this whole thing, because I don't know if I can handle it.
I know, and that is the case with many people. And I thought that's why we'd take a little bit different angle, and we'd take a look at what we can do to help horses in this situation.
Well, I think that helps for people in my situation, where you're saddened by the disaster and maybe intimidated by the enormity of it. But if there's somebody can give you an idea on how you can help, even if it's in a small way, I think that makes it a little bit easier to handle and then easier to get involved.
Right. And, I do, at times like this, too, it's interesting. I've been volunteer with the Red Cross for 6 years now, and through many hurricanes and all of that. And the donations always come in at the times of disasters, and then they slow way, 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 way down if there's not a major disaster that's happened.
Right.
And then the Red Cross, really has to scramble at that point to try and raise money and things. So there's never too much money that can go to organizations like the Red Cross or to the USEF Equine Disaster Relief Fund, and no amount's too small. They've raised at the Red Cross over, what is it? It's almost $20 million now, I think, through that texting campaign where you just text in and it's $10 and $20 at a time. And they've raised almost $20 million that way. Yeah. So it's incredible what little amounts can help, and we just thought we'd do a little bit about that on the show today. I know this is a little more serious topic than we're used to doing, but, Helene and I can get serious occasionally. Not too often, but occasionally we do.
If we have to.
Yeah.
I have to stop you there for a minute because it was bugging me that I couldn't remember what episode that Horses for Heroes was on. And it was way back. It was a long time ago. That was episode 6. My saddle comes with a seatbelt when we talked to Michael Richardson.
Oh, really? Was it that long ago?
Yes, because the website spotlight was the NARHA's Horses for Heroes. And we talked a little bit about that. I don't remember who it was that we spoke with. It might have been Mary Jo. But that was it was episode 6. That was a long time ago.
Wow, that was a long time ago. You know, considering we're on episode 76. So,
exactly.
That was one of the first ones. Wow. And we remembered that. I'm impressed. In my advanced middle age, I'm impressed I remember anything. But, so.
I was talking because I'm like, you know what? I'm the co-host of the show. I should remember it wasn't the main focus of the show. It was, how we sort of go off on these tangents and in our defense, it wasn't the highlight of the show, but it was definitely there and talked about. So there it is.
Well, let's get Joni on and start chatting with our guests here. Well, hi, Joni, and welcome back to the Stable Scoop Show. It's always good to speak with you.
Hi, thanks for having me as always.
I think you were in a parking lot one time when we talked to you at Fair Hill or something.
Yes. I can only imagine places I've been when last couple of times, though, I've been lucky enough to be in my office, considering the weather across the country.
Yeah, and you're home. That's actually a rare thing, too, because you travel a lot.
I do, and with the World Equestrian Games coming up end of February, I'm off again pretty much until October. So
where is your office?
My office is at the Horse Park in Lexington, Kentucky.
She's about 3 miles from me.
Right.
Hey, Joni, we were on the phone, actually. I just put a plug in for the 2010 radio show. We were on the phone with John Nicholson, the director of the Horse Park today, and he gave us an update, and it does sound like the Horse Park is, except for some minor road work and stuff here and there, and a beautification process this year, they're ready to go.
It's all coming together, and it's amazing to be here and watch the park grow. I mean, I've been coming to Rolex, for 15 years. And then now to see what is here now is pretty amazing. It's certainly a world-class facility, and we're pretty lucky to have it in our backyard.
And literally, it is in your backyard. You're in the yard where you work.
It is. From my old desk, I could look out the window and actually see the grandstand of the new stadium. Now I'd have to sort of walk around the corner, but yeah, we certainly are right here.
Well, and I wanted to tell everybody you can go to 2010radioshow.com and take a listen to this week's episode to hear John's update on the Kentucky Horse Park and their preparations for Rolex first, and then also for the games later in the year. But we're here to talk about the USEF Equine Disaster Relief Fund. Now, that fund's been around a while, right?
It has been around for a while. It started... this precedes me, but my understanding is it started in 2005 after Hurricane Katrina. And we raised a lot of money then for horses in need in that part of the United States. And it lives in existence all the time on the USEF website. And we, activate it and send out a call to action when we have natural disasters that really affect horses. And this would be the first time we've sort of activated it for horses outside of the United States. When we had the fires in California, we used it then. There have been some floods and that kind of thing that have happened throughout the country off and on. So it's back on the homepage now to help horses in Haiti, and we haven't distributed any money yet, but I will tell you that the way we're going about it is pretty cool. We're working in the FEI. There are different geographical groups throughout the world, and we're Group 4, which is Canada, the United States, Mexico, and the islands. Obviously, Haiti is also part of Group 4. So we're working with Group 4 and with the national federations in Haiti and in the Dominican Republic to try and find the best way to identify the needs where we could help horses in Haiti, and then make sure that our resources are best allocated. So that's how we're going about helping the horses in Haiti.
Now, who's in charge of the fund and going and identifying where the need is and how to distribute the resources?
So the way the fund works is that people and organizations can apply to the USEF for help, and they generally send in, a request for aid, and then basically it's at the discretion of the CEO, John Long. There's a couple of us that look over things and receive them and review them, but it basically comes down to John, and which is why we try and identify, groups like, say, these national federations in other countries that we work with and have relationships with to make sure, as with any kind of charitable giving, to make sure the money is used for what we want and is getting used responsibly.
Right. So your organization is small enough that you can ensure that the money goes where it needs to go.
Right. And we're really capitalizing on our relationship, through the FEI with the other countries to make sure that the people on the ground are the ones that are telling us where the money needs to go, not someone who's, two countries away.
Right. That's great. And that makes me feel comfortable too. If I'm going to contribute to something. Right. Yeah.
Now, do you have any idea of how many horses are in Haiti? That was one thing we were just talking about. We were going, you don't think about Haiti and think of horses.
No, and there aren't too many I mean, well, I don't even know how to quantify it. Haiti, like you said, is not a huge country for horses, and we've recently been working, actually, interestingly enough, with the FEI to develop Group 4, especially some of those island nations that you don't think of horse countries, to develop their sport programs. Allison Springer, who's an event rider, who some people might be familiar with, she's ridden at Rolex and all that. She has been going down to Haiti through this Group 4 and 5 program and actually teaching clinics.
Wow.
So, but there's a very small number of quote-unquote sport horses, as we would think of, in Haiti. But they use horses the way they use them a lot in the developing world, for day-to-day needs, the way that we don't use them very much in the United States anymore. So, they use horses to transport things and to get around and to work. Exactly. So there's far more horses that are working for their living, out in the general society than there are when we consider sport horses working for a living in Haiti. And I honestly couldn't tell you a number as to how many horses are in Haiti, but it's a relatively small place, so I don't think, and it's an island, but obviously, but there's definitely a need that we're trying to identify how we can best use our resources.
Well, that's great. I think that's super. And, Joni, it's something that we don't think, you don't think about often. And I'm just glad that your fund is there. And I really like how you administer the fund and activate it when it's needed. And how can people donate to it?
Well, right now, if you go to our website, which is usef.org, there's a link on the right hand of the page that says Disaster Relief Fund, Help Horses in Haiti. But it's always available on our website. If you just go to About USEF, there's a charitable giving tab there. So if Spirit moves anyone at any given time, we're always available. And like I said, we try and be very, very responsible about how we allocate it.
Well, great. Well, Joni, we appreciate you being on with us today and filling us in on that. And that's at the usef.org website. Just look for it's up in the upper right-hand corner. Well, thanks, Joni. And will you come back again before the games, and maybe we'll have another chat?
Absolutely. Just keep me posted. I'll be all over. I'm trying to get to at least one selection trial for every discipline. So
you poor thing.
Hopefully I'll have plenty to report.
Well, thanks,
I want to talk to you when you have some downtime.
That'll be next year. That'll be 2011.
And you're on the beach and you say, "What's happening?"
Then 2011 is start looking forward to the Olympics, and it's just
well, and we have the Pan American Games in 2011 in Guadalajara. So last year was supposed to be our easy year. That was our off year.
Yeah, that was really, really
no
busy.
Vacation for Joni.
Ready.
You might find me somewhere in the beginning of December without too much stress, but no promises yet.
Well,
it seems a long way off.
What's interesting is John Nicholson from the Horse Park there, when we talked to him today, he said, we have to get a group of us together and do one of your shows around Christmas time and reflect on the year and what it was like. And I said, well, that would be a great idea, wouldn't it? We'll just get John and maybe somebody from the foundation and get one of the riders, just get a group and do a roundtable and just chat about what the memories were from the year and the nightmares and all of that. So,
well, it would be great. And we're lucky now. We do so much with the Horse Park. We run Young Riders here in the summer, and that's coming back for 2010. Pony Finals is here, and there's so many things here that are so close to the Federation that we're so closely involved with, as well as being obviously licensed competitions, which hundreds of those run out here, that we work almost daily with the people from the Horse Park, with Janie Atkinson and Rolex, with the WEG people. So we have a great relationship with everyone. But I think that's a great idea of John Nicholson's, to get everyone at the end of the year to tell the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it's always a great adventure through this place.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, and with large events like this, there's always good, bad, and ugly.
That's right, and very, very funny, which you have to remember those things too.
Those are usually associated with the ugly.
Not always, but sometimes.
Well, thanks, Joni. We'll talk to you again.
Of course. Thank you.
We'd like to thank one of our sponsors, EquestrianProfessional.com. EquestrianProfessional.com is the site for people in the horse business. If you're a trainer, instructor, pro rider, or stable manager, you really should check out EquestrianProfessional.com. It's a website that provides affordable information and education specifically geared toward equine businesses. In fact, the website offers a whole range of cool tools designed to help you make your business more profitable. EquestrianProfessional.com offers a huge article index, a library available for download, online calculators, how-to videos, forums, and even web seminars. Equestrian Professional subscribers also get a free newsletter that's packed with helpful information you can put to work for your business right away. As a bonus, when you sign up at equestrianprofessional.com, you'll receive the 10 best ways to make your horse business more profitable. That's a step-by-step guide that will help you make your horse business run more smoothly and profitably. That's equestrianprofessional.com, the essential resource for horse business owners and professional equestrian athletes.
Well, hi, Mary Jo, and welcome to the Stable Scoop Radio Show. We appreciate you being on with us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You know, we had chatted, we discovered back in episode 6 about the NARA Horses for Heroes campaign, and we're just glad to learn a little bit more about it today. Give us the Reader's Digest version of how it came about and what it does.
NARA is the National Organization for Therapeutic Horseback Riding and Equine-Assisted Activities and Therapies, and they decided in 2006 to start a NARA Horses for Heroes initiative, and hopefully connecting up existing NARA programs with wounded warriors and veterans around the United States, because they know the benefit of horses for individuals that have issues.
Well, you know, you think about it in the terms of just handicapped riders in general, but you don't always think about it in relation to somebody like a soldier who's been injured later on in life.
That's correct. However, we are trained as therapeutic horseback riding instructors and equine specialists to work with individuals whether or not they're born with a disability or whether they incur one later in life.
Yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter. The result's the same.
That's correct. However, the mental processes that have to work, the individuals getting injuries later in life or having issues affect their bodies later in life, of course, affects them mentally, and so sometimes we have to work through those issues. But certainly the equines have been able to help individuals who have been injured in war, Iraq, Afghanistan, as well as those people suffering from PTSD or traumatic brain injury. We have proven results from that.
Now, if you have, there's a veteran out there, a soldier who thinks he or she might want to participate in this, how do they go about finding out where they can do it? You have groups across the country that offer this?
That's correct. NARA is the national organization, NARHA, and they can go on the website and find a NARA program near them, or they can contact me via email, which I'm mjbeckman@gmail.com, and I would be happy to handle any inquiry.
That's great. So you would help them find something that would be suitable for their needs?
Hopefully. Yes.
Or you would try your darndest, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I am the volunteer instructor for the Army's Caisson Platoon program here at Fort Myer, Virginia, and work with the wounded warriors from Walter Reed, and I see firsthand the benefit of how these equines have assisted these individuals going through such long and extensive rehab.
Boy, that's something you don't hear too much anymore, Helena, is a Caisson program.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And the only reason I've ever heard of it is because my father, probably the only time he rode was when he was in the Army out in Arizona in the 60s. But I remember hearing that phrase from him. What is that? Tell us a little bit about what that is.
In 2006, the Army allowed me as a NARA certified instructor to help train some of their soldiers and their horses to work with the wounded warriors from Walter Reed. And the program's now been going on for 3.5 years. And we've worked with probably 50 to 60 of the wounded warriors from Walter Reed. We ride around the base at Fort Myer. The same horses, these specifically trained horses that do the Caisson Therapeutic Riding Program, also do the military honors in Arlington Cemetery. So as a veterinarian explained to me when we started up the program, she says how wonderful that these horses that honor the dead can do something for the living.
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
That gets me all teary-eyed, too.
I know.
Is this organization, the Horses for Heroes, do you have an idea of how many soldiers you've worked with or you work with on an annual basis?
Unfortunately, I do not know the numbers. However, I can tell you that there are tremendously wonderful success stories from the individuals that have been assisted. But I do not have numbers.
And, of course, NARA is nationwide and has done, tremendous things across the country and the world now, probably. It is interesting how, we did a show a little while back, if you remember right before Christmas, Helena. We did a show with Rupert Isaacson, who wrote The Horse Boy.
Yes.
And talking about, how horses have helped his autistic child and how he continues to go out and help autistic children. Now, he just had a little bit of a a disaster in his own life in that his new barn he built to work with his program burnt down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and that happened a little bit ago, a week or two ago. So everybody's fine. There were no horses hurt and no people hurt. So he said that they're borrowing a neighbor's barn and they're keeping the program going. But it was a little bit of a setback for them financially, and there's actually been a fund set up to help raise money for him to rebuild his barn for his program down there. So why don't we take a break here, do a little commercial, and then come back and try and get Sergeant Blair back on the phone. Well, Helena, Equestrian Collections has a new coupon for everybody at the Horse Radio Network. Right now, you can use this coupon to get $10 off your next order of $120 or more. The coupon code is Horse Radio, all one word, just Horse Radio. So when you're checking out with your order of $120 or more, just put Horse Radio in the coupon code section, and it'll knock $10 off your order. And right now, they have some great new products. They have a bunch of new Wrangler products in. She started carrying the Wrangler line, which should thrill a lot of our Western customers or Western listeners as well. And she carries a whole bunch of different Wrangler products now in all different sizes and men's and women's and children's, and as well as some of their tack items. She has it all over there at equestriancollections.com. And right now is that time of year when her closeout section's full, with closeouts up to 70% off. Just go to the website and click on the big banner at the top of the page, and you'll find all of the discontinued merchandise and the closeouts. And you can find all of that at equestriancollections.com. Don't forget to use that new coupon code HORSERADIO at equestriancollections.com. All right, well, we're back, and we're back with Mary Jo Beckman of the NARHA, which I always have to think about when I say Horses for Heroes campaign, and we were not able to get Sergeant Michael Blair on the phone. Some lieutenant probably told him he had to do something else. So we have to understand that when you're a Marine, you follow orders. But tell us a little bit about Sergeant Blair and what he went through and why he ended up in the program and what he's gotten from it.
Michael was over in Iraq and suffered a IED explosion that blew off the door of the vehicle that he was driving, and the blast occurred and took out his knees, basically, and both of his legs. They were able to save both of his legs. However, all of the knee structure that was on there had to be reconstructed, and for some of that reconstruction, they used cadaver parts. So it took a long time to do the appropriate fitting of the cadaver parts to his body. He's undergone about 60 surgeries at Walter Reed.
Wow.
And is currently able to walk with a cane, so that's very positive. He
That's
also
amazing
does kayaking.
in itself, isn't it?
That's correct. He has quite a bit of a spirit and wanting to do that. He started riding with me very early after his injuries, and he just knows that getting on the horses and riding them around, he sits up taller, he stands up taller, he feels good after he gets off of the horse. He's become actually quite an accomplished rider. He rides independently as we ride around Fort Myer Base, and he makes a point of coming to ride the horses because he knows that it's a better day for him.
Mary Jo, do you talk with their doctors at all before they get in the saddle and have an idea of what they can and can't do?
I do not. Walter Reed, for my purposes with the caisson platoon, the doctors at Walter Reed and the therapist actually sign a medical okay that these individuals can ride.
Okay.
And Walter Reed sends out a recreation therapist with the individuals. So if I have any additional questions, I can ask them. With a NARA program that would be working under the NARA Horses for Heroes, they would get medical physicians' signature saying that the individual could ride, and then a little bit more of a background of what the issues are. Some of these individuals, though, that are benefiting at the NARA Horses for Heroes site have no physical disabilities, but are experiencing the emotional issues of having been to war, and they are getting quite a wonderful reprieve from the PTSD symptoms, being able to sleep better at night, being able to handle different things in their life. Just being around the horses is very calming for them.
Do you know what it is? Can you encapsulate that and say it's this that creates that free zone for them, that stress-free zone? when they sit, is it when they sit down? Is it the relationship with the animal? Is it the movement? Is it the doing something different? Are you able to define what that is?
I can tell you that numerous people have explained to me various things that they do, which can be very soothing to them. One of which is just grooming the horse. Just the idea that this is another living being and that they're able to groom it, and the repetitive motion of just the stroking of that, hugging this big animal is something that's very, very special. In the barn, the smells, the wonderful activity of hearing the horses munch and crunch and do what they do. It's just a very free environment that I think we all feel when we get around the horses. We kind of tend to leave our other world outside when we walk into a barn. And so that's definitely a freedom. The horse's movement has to be entered into this whole business, particularly with individuals that have physical disabilities, because it's a rhythmical movement that at the walk is very similar to our own walking movement. I know for the individuals I've worked with from Walter Reed that have amputations, it helps them learn how to use their prosthetics better, because now they're learning to move through their hips instead of watching their feet, which they no longer have. So it's kind of a combination of all those factors that can help an individual that has cognitive, physical, or emotional issues seek a wellness and a better life for being around the horses.
Well, Mary Jo, we want to thank you for what you do, and we also want to thank Michael for his service and his sacrifice. And, it sounds like he's got his chin up and he's marching on, or riding on in this case. So we just want to thank you for what you do, too, because you're providing a second life for these people, and, who are true heroes. I mean, the title of this program is very fitting. And horses, for all of us in the horse community, there are heroes, too, on a daily basis. And it's just neat what we're finding out here in the last month, Helena, what the horses can do for so many different people with so many different issues. It's just amazing.
Well, I know that applies to me and to some friends and acquaintances. Is once you get out to the barn, no matter what you're doing, whether it's grooming or mucking or riding or training, it provides pretty much everyone I know with that sense of peace. But it's so much more significant, I think, for a veteran, for somebody who has a disability or a disadvantage or a challenge to overcome. It's just, I don't know, it just seems so much more significant. I'm so happy that it exists for them. It's just really got me thinking. Sometimes, like Glenn, you say, sometimes we're funny and we're jokey, and this is just one of those things that I'm so thankful is out there. And it makes me wish that I were an instructor, that I could help, I could contribute to their goals with this program. I think it's wonderful.
Well, Mary Jo, how can people help?
They can make contributions if they'd like to do that to the NARA organization, www.narha.org. That's one of the avenues. The other thing is they can seek out their local NARA program. There are some veterans organizations that are helping to sponsor some of the veterans riding. So those are some avenues. Therapeutic riding programs always need volunteers. One of the things that we've found is very, very successful is to have veterans helping veterans. And so we've asked the NARA centers to go to their American Legion, their VFW, to their disabled American vets, and see if those individuals would volunteer to sidewalk and help lead the horses when the veterans ride. And then they get that commonality and that communications of veterans talking with veterans.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you, Mary Jo, for being on. We appreciate it, and that's narha.org. And you can find more information about the Horses for Heroes campaign on their website. Well, we're definitely going to have you back again. Would you do that?
I would be very pleased to come back.
And would you thank Michael for us for his service and tell him we're sorry we missed him today?
I will be very pleased to do that.
And he's welcome to come on at any time and tell us about his experience.
All right. Thanks, Mary Jo.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, I think NARA is a wonderful organization, and Mary Jo's work is to be applauded. If you can get out there and you can help this organization in any way, please, please, please. These guys, I mean, they devote their lives to supporting their country, and I think we can devote a little bit of our lives to supporting them. So go to NAHRA. We'll actually put links on our website in the show notes so that you can find out more about Mary Jo and the Horses for Heroes campaign.
Well, Helena, Equestrian Collections has come out with a new coupon code for the Horse Radio listeners. When you're checking out, just type in Horse Radio, all one word, at equestriancollections.com, and you'll get $10 off your next order of $120 or more. Right now, they have some fantastic end of the year, beginning of the year, actually, sales going on over there of all kinds of products. And also, they have some great Valentine's stuff. They have a whole section on their homepage of Valentine's stuff. It's only a couple weeks away. So if you're looking for that Valentine for that sweetheart or that horsey friend, check out equestriancollections.com. They have all kinds of things from bracelets to pendants to stuff for your horse. It's just all kinds of neat Valentine stuff at Equestrian Collections. And you can get $10 off that next order of $120 or more just by using the coupon code Horse Radio. And don't forget that new line of Wrangler products, all the different Wrangler products there at equestriancollections.com.
And we have up next with us a lovely woman, and hopefully I won't butcher her name, Maria Zubati, and she started StableWomanGazette.com, and we're going to talk to her about some fun, wonderful things. So welcome to Maria.
Hello. Hi. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Now, you started something called the Stable Woman Gazette, and tell us a little bit about that. Is it is it online? Is it in print? What is it, and what do you hope to achieve with it?
Well, the Stable Woman Gazette is actually a project that is compiled with a number of other projects, and it's an online-only magazine. And I'm going out trying to reach the connection of women and horses. I'm wanting to dedicate it to all horsewomen. Recognizing the compassion and, just the fondness that women have for horses.
What motivated you to start this?
Oh, gosh. Like millions of little girls, I had the horse bug as a child. And as I grew older, I could never shake it, and always saw myself drawing and writing about horses. In my teen and college years, I was always designing ads and T-shirts and all kinds of things that involved horses. And then I found myself, this was always something I enjoyed doing. And before you know it, I was designing ads professionally for people. And then it just kind of came to me one day that, I really wanted, I had worked for publishers and printers for nearly 20 years. And felt that I wanted to have my own platform. Now, with the beauty of the internet, just about anybody can do this, and put out whatever message is close to you and that you want to bring to the forefront. And I felt with my graphic design ability and my experience working for printers and publishers, and now the web, that I wanted to reach out and make this connection a little more profound, and just recognize all women in this unusual connection that we share, as a blog, magazine type blog, and see what happens with it. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, I noticed now that on what you've concentrated on here, it seems like over the last couple of weeks, and something that we have not talked about at all on the Stable Scoop show, just because we've had so many other topics that we had scheduled, is the whole Mustang issue, and you really have been concentrating on that. Is that a passion of yours?
Well, it is. I have a number of topics that I would like to cover on the Gazette, but because this happens to be something that's really in the forefront of the news right now, I chose to be an advocate for the Mustangs and a couple of other related issues. I just, for me, the horse historically is what has landed man here, and I just feel like we're sort of taking, the horse for granted, and I really think, the history of the horse should be preserved, and I think there's probably other ways of handling, some of the excess. Horses, and there's just all kinds of things that can be done, and I just really think the horse needs to be acknowledged and really just left alone. Anyway, it's a long drawn out
right. Well, and
controversy.
It's really become a hot topic in the horse world all over the place. And
yeah.
Helena, you spend more time in the forums than I do. But, Facebook forums everywhere, and I guess there's a hearing coming up. It's the House Subcommittee on Crime, Terrorism, Homeland Security, which, I'm not quite sure why they're involved. But I didn't realize that wild Mustangs were a Homeland Security issue.
Yeah.
And the Prevention of Equine to Cruelty Act is being discussed on Tuesday, February the 2nd at 4 p.m. So that's coming up, I know, and there's all kinds of movements and things out there. And, and who knows what's going to end up happening with it, but by getting involved is the only way you can change things.
Yes, exactly. And I think with the internet, there's a lot of people, I almost talk to people daily that have no clue that this is going on. And, that also, the inhumane practices with horse slaughter in this nation. And a lot of people are just not educated. So, I'm just one more vehicle out there for trying to bring some of this to the forefront. Horses have brought me great joy and comfort through the years. And, I can't imagine they're going through the suffering that they go through, after serving us, whether they be racehorses or pleasure horses or family pets.
But, you just made me think of something there that I think a lot of people question, well, what can I do? There's this huge problem. What can I do? I'm one person. I'm one voice. And sometimes that's overwhelming and you think, I just can't. Even if I take 10 minutes out of my day to do something or $10 out of my wallet to do something, I'm still not going to have an effect, so why bother? But you actually made a very important point, is that a lot of people just don't know. So if you know and you tell somebody else, that has an impact. That may even have, that may have one of the greatest impacts. If you know something, share your knowledge. That's one very cheap and easy way to make a difference. Educate the person next to you.
Yes, exactly. And unfortunately, there's so much news out there that, the general public doesn't get to hear stories about what's happening to wild horses. Obviously there are a lot of, much larger stories, but to those of us who love horses, it's important to us, and for those of us who, recognize the horse, in history, and want to preserve that relationship, I think it's important to educate people. And it has been, we have been lucky this time in that the mainstream press has picked this story up, and I have seen it in places that you would never have seen it before. Yes, exactly.
So that's been a good thing this time, is that we're actually getting some help.
Right, right.
It's not just all of us horse people crying in the wind.
Yes, exactly. I think it's strength in numbers, educating people, and really putting our heads together and coming up with alternative solutions instead of just saying, oh, I don't know what I can do, let somebody else worry about it. But, strength in numbers, you put your heads together, and, there's all kinds of programs that, take a lot of people to solve problems. So, I think we're going to get there. I really do. I don't think that the horse advocacy groups are going to let down. I think they're just getting stronger. And I'm part of that, and I'm proud to say that I'm part of it.
Well, that's not the only thing on your website, we should say. Obviously, there's links to all kinds of cool stuff. You have links on the left to all kinds of things, from event calendars to different broadcast outlets like ours, equestrian news, stable management. There's just all kinds of things on the website. We encourage everybody to stop over and take a look at it. You can go to it's Stable Woman. That's WOMAN. not women, woman, one woman, Gazette.com. I made that mistake and kept going, why can't I get to her website? So we appreciate that, and we encourage everybody to just stop over and take a look. Where can they follow you on Twitter and Facebook?
Under the keyword Stable Woman.
Okay.
That's on Twitter, and then the Stable Woman Gazette has a fan page. Just search Stable Woman Gazette fan page, and I do a number of postings there. I'm always, I'm continuing and always looking for fresh content. So there's a lot of informed, talented people out there. If you have an idea for a column, since we're relatively new, we're always looking for content and unique subjects, and if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can write me at publisher@stablewomangazette.com.
Great. Well, thank you very much for being on with us. We really appreciate it, and we'll hope that everybody checks out your website.
Thanks very much. It was a wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Maria.
Take good care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, what a show, Helena. This isn't our normal fare, but, there were just some important things that I thought we needed to get out there today.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a mishmash of things, but it was a mishmash of good things and important things. There's a theme, but you know what? No matter what we talk about, we always kind of tie it together. The theme is horses helping people and people helping horses.
Right. And you know what? That's true of every show we do. Because, we talk to the amazing people who are helped by horses every day, whether it's from professional riders to the handicapped, to soldiers who have been injured in battle.
Yeah.
Or to the horses themselves that need help because of stupid policies.
I know. It gets you thinking. Like I was saying before, we're silly and we're goofy, and every once in a while a show comes along or we talk to a person that makes us stop and think a little bit more. And
well, we're going to end that in the next couple of weeks. That won't be the case in the next couple of weeks.
No, we are all about goofy, aren't we?
Yeah, well, we should mention what's coming up over the next month. I'm trying to get interviews set up with the people who do Cavalia.
Yay!
So you know that you've wanted to do that for some time, and we're working. I'm going to be talking to them today, and then also, of course, we have Valentine's coming up. We'll be doing our annual equine love episode here. So we'll be doing that as well as what's always followed by from the love episode is the horse husbands episode, and then the
Desperate Horsewives
episode. So we have some great fun coming up in the month of February. February is always a little goofy for us.
Yes, it is.
So we get a little sappy, and then we bust on each other. Mm-hmm. So that sounds like a relationship, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. At least the ones I'm in.
All right, everybody. You can find all of the links to the various websites on our show notes at stablescoop.com, episode number 76. And we encourage you, if you can give $5, $10 to any one of the causes that we spoke about today, it would certainly be appreciated and needed. And
I just want to I just want to go over one more time the organizations that we talked with today. It was the USEF and their Equine Disaster Relief Fund. We talked to Mary Jo Beckman. She was with NARHA, NARHA, Horses for Heroes. And we talked to Maria Dubati, and she was with StableWomanGazette.com. And we're going to have links to all three of those groups on our website.
Yes. And, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Horse Radio, and you can follow Helena at Helena_BEE. And we also like to thank our sponsors, Equestrian Professional and Equestrian Collections. And if we need one more sponsor, and hopefully it won't start with Equestrian, because then it'll be really confusing for us when we're doing our commercials. But we thank everybody for being here. We thank you for following the Stable Scoop Radio Show. It's still the #1 show on the Horse Radio Network, and we appreciate that. And we hope that you stick with us through the next month, because we have a lot of fun coming. Well, be sure to be here next week as...
You're doing it again, aren't you?
I know, I tried.
Trying to catch me in a blooper.
Yeah, I did.
What's with the as? We don't use as.
I was threw out the as to see what you do with it. And
I did a whole lot of nothing with it.
So we'll be back next week
with the scoop.